All right, and we're back at WITMA. My name is Millana Snow, a wellness official here in collaboration with WITMA, and I am so excited to share with you guys. I am sitting with one of my favorite speakers of the day, Mr. Michael Beckwith. How you doing?
Millana, I'm doing fantastic.
I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you for coming.
My joy.
You know, one of the reasons why I think it was so great to have you here is because I think you obviously have been a leader of the wellness industry and spirituality for a long time, and I think you probably had a sense that this is a younger group of leaders, that we really are, you know, these up-and-coming leaders who are starting to change the conversation in the way that we see it. Yes. And I was curious if that's what you saw about this community.
Absolutely. It was absolutely one of the reasons why I came.
Yeah.
When I was invited to come, I saw the demographics,
yeah.
and I said, these are the people I want to talk to. So I'm finding that the younger folks more and more are coming into Agape.
Yes.
And they're taking the teachings and the practices to heart, and taking it really fast and really deep.
Yes.
So, and it's necessary because, you know, we're in a crisis on the planet.
I agree.
So the younger folks have to take it, and they have to move with it very quickly.
Well, I live under this belief that, you know, the millennial generation and the generation that has followed us were, you know, these indigo children and crystal children
right.
that came at this very specific time to kind of be the ones that kind of shake things up.
Yes.
And using technology to do that. And so I'm really curious, have you feel like you've learned anything from the young millennials in terms of how to bring this consciousness into larger
I would say
communication?
that all of the things that I do with
Yes.
technology, I've got from a millennial.
I love that.
Yeah. And so now it's kind of just a part of who I am, but I remember when it wasn't. And even my grandson, who's 14, brings me into other things. But I have a group starting at Agape now called Agape Now. And it's all millennials, millennials and younger. They're coming in to bring the conversation, to bring the next level of technology, the next level of reaching people, the next level of building community. So they will have their own group. They'll have their own programs, their own fundraisers, whatever. It's going to be their thing.
Wow.
I'm just setting it up to get the vision articulated.
Amazing.
But no, absolutely. My mother, who's passed over a few years ago, she was very famous for not hanging around people her own age. She said once a person stopped learning, or they knew everything, she didn't want to be around them.
Yes.
So I kind of picked that up from her. I want to be around the learners, I want to be around the innovators, the creatives, and it just happens to be, in many cases, it's the young folks.
I love that. Yeah, I find that, you know, I'm 31 now.
You're a
and
baby.
Age ain't nothing but a number. You know, they say that
Right.
though, right?
It's
But
true.
I do have to say that I try to surround myself with the kids that are like 17, 18, 19, because I'm finding that the way that they think and the things that they care about at 17, 18, 19 is so beyond where I was at that age. And I'm finding that there's this shift that's happening, even though we're in a crisis.
Yeah.
The younger generation cares so much about our planet, so much about purpose. So I'm curious, what do you believe the younger generation can do to help change and shift and uplift the consciousness of the older generation that may not have that same deep devotion to change?
Well, because they're not trapped in the matrix yet,
Yeah.
and they're not as imprinted.
Yeah.
They're much more free thinking, so
Yeah.
they're on the edge of creativity. So that's what they're bringing to us. The
Yeah.
thing about it is they'll be able to help build the next strata of society,
Yeah.
even if people don't go with them. They're building a platform for what is to follow even them. Because oftentimes, the bane of somebody that's a lot older is they don't want to grow anymore. You know, they'll reap the benefits. And so it's not about, I don't think it's about changing people who don't want to change.
Okay.
It's actually about embracing the new ideas, and those who want to go with it, go with it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So would you say, especially in the political climate of the U.S. specifically, because obviously the audience is international, and
Yes.
really it's not even just political climate in the U.S., it's really happening globally.
Right.
There seems to be this shift where the younger movement is coming into these
France.
spaces and place. Exactly.
Everywhere. It's happening everywhere.
So would you say that it's really about just being that change and letting that fall away, and that it's not time for us to try to change the minds of those who have been in that same
I think
consciousness?
for right now, the idea is to move with the energy. Let those who want to come with you come with you.
I love that.
And the vibration of the change will begin to also change the structure. and also change the minds of those who first couldn't see it. And as you say, it's happening all over the world. It's happening in France. It's happening here. It's happening in the Middle East.
In Southeast Asia as well.
It's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
It's that young energy that has not been corrupted yet, and they haven't been dumbed down yet.
And I hear you say yet, so I want to catch that, because there's been a couple of times where I've heard you say they haven't had that impression made on them yet.
Yeah, but
So how
they're
do
being
we
worked on.
protect ourselves from that yet?
Now, what they can benefit from those that have been on the planet a little longer
Yes.
is a practice.
Yes.
They have to have a spiritual practice
Yes.
that keeps them sustained in the insights that they're having.
I love that.
So they don't just go to sleep.
Yes.
You know, so that's why spiritual practice is very important.
Yes.
Because once you have an insight, it'll become a memory unless it's integrated and stabilized.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to be a little selfish here, because I feel like it's not that often I get to have you one-on-one to ask questions, and I think everybody can benefit from this. I think right now what's happening with a lot of people, not just young people, not older people, but all people, is that we have so much stimulation and so many possibilities, and there can be so much energy that we're having to hold and move through us.
Right.
What would you say is maybe one or two practices, or just things that we can keep in mind on how to be able to hold and circulate all the energy that we have happening?
This is a great question. First of all, let me say that the capacity to hold the energy, we're developing the capacity to hold more energy.
Yes, yes.
And we have to.
Yes.
You know, what we're feeling now, 30 years ago, people felt that in a year what we feel in one day. So our nervous system has to expand to be able to not go into stress, but to be able to embrace all of this. So that there has to be some level of meditation.
Yes.
There has to be some level of pranayama, some kind of breath. And there has to be some level of intentionality with the breath, so that you're actually recalibrating the nervous system to hold the higher frequencies.
Yes.
So that your insights don't go to memory, they actually stay with you. And so you have the young people shooting out with this energy, creativity, possibility. Now what they have to anchor in is some level of practice.
Yes.
And if that happens, then you have the best of both worlds.
Yes.
You have all this energy, your capacity to hold more energy is increased, and your level of practice keeps yielding more and more insights.
Yes.
It's a beautiful way that what nature has designed for us.
Thank you. And I love that you said nature, because that was actually the next thing I wanted to dig into with you just briefly. I feel that one of the biggest things that a lot of us are missing, especially in major cities like New York, LA, London, is we're not in nature. Can you talk about the importance of nature, and just that it's so practical too, that it's not the woo-woo hippies with their shoes off, but that it's practical for all of us. Right?
No, you know, when you walk through a forest, the trees bow at your divinity. They actually can see who you are as a spiritual being, even before you can, and they sympathetically bow. They recognize your potential as God, as a God being. So when you're in nature, you're not only getting the reciprocity of carbon dioxide, oxygen, and carbon dioxide, oxygen, it's actually calibrating your nervous system to be able to maintain a level of bliss and ecstasy. Most people can't even hold bliss. They can't even hold ecstasy. They want to get to temporary happiness based on an external condition. But if you hang out with nature long enough, you'll come to your intrinsic joy that has nothing to do with the condition. This is just who you are.
And then you'll have the capacity to actually hold it because you're in communion with it.
Right. And now, the universe will give you more to be joyful about because you're in resonance with it. And it will surprise you. It's like, things will happen. You say, why did that happen? Because that was that had a correspondence with the joy that's in your being that you can get right there in the forest, right there at the beach, right there with your feet. Everybody should take off their shoes every day.
Yes.
And let Mother Earth just be with it, come and sync.
Yes.
Even if it's 10 minutes.
Yes.
You don't want to go a day without it.
Yes, because that is actually a part of our divine nature, necessary characteristics. Like we need to connect to nature as much as we need to eat food, as much as we need to drink water.
Earthlings.
Yeah.
We have spiritual incarnation, spiritual being that has an earthling incarnation. And so Mother Earth wants to take care of it. And so we have to have a reverential relationship with Mother Earth. Many people are so cut off that there's no reverence.
Yeah.
You know, we pollute our rivers, our oceans. We We mess up the rainforest.
We have little
We
dogs that
strip
come and
mine.
fill it.
You know, we do so much because there's no reverence.
Yeah.
We see ourselves separate from it. If you see yourself separate from somebody or something, you won't honor it.
Yeah.
But once you see that you're one with it, you
Yeah.
honor it. So we have to go back to have a reverential relationship with Mother Nature.
Thank you so much. I would really love for anybody who's watching this to know where they can connect with you. I know that you're here in LA at Agape, but I also know that you stream online. So can you
Yes.
share with everybody where they can find you?
Right. It's my joy to be here. You can go to agapelive.com, AGAPELIVE.com. You can see the love streams. They call the live streamers call themselves love streamers. So you can be a love streamer every Sunday, 7, 9, 11, and go to the archives and see all the great talks and classes as well. And michaelbeckwith.com, you can go there as well.
Thank you so much for being here with
my
us.
joy.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
God bless
Thank you
the good work
guys.
you're doing.